Hello and welcome to an album a day, day number 79. Got something really special as we're digging through my vinyl collection. Today we've got two double albums that I'm going to be talking about. The first one is the second release, but the first one that I came into contact with. And to give you a reference, these are both soundtracks. This one, I don't know if I would have seen it in the theater or not. I would have been incredibly young at the time, but for us, the only time that we could see this movie was at 4 a.m. on Easter Sunday. And this is before the days of VCR, so there was no taping it and watching it later. You literally had to be like, I really want to see this movie and I'm just so tired. But we did it. We slept on the floor in the living room in front of the console TV. We had the alarm clock set, and we just did our best to stay awake to be able to enjoy the movie as much as possible. And that was every year until VCRs came out. The day we got our VCR, or the next day, it must have been the day we got it, we went to a video store on Gratiot in Mount Clemens. I can't remember the name of it, but it was just this little video store, brand new, because VCRs were pretty new when we got ours, and we bought this movie, and it is the soundtrack for Jesus Christ Superstar. I had the pleasure of interviewing Ted Neely a couple years back. Super nice guy. Really disappointed I have not heard back from them on a follow-up interview because I had a question for him that I don't normally do this on the podcast, but if there's something that is potentially like a powder keg type question, I will ask my guest ahead of time, like, is it okay if I ask you this? If not, no problem, we can move on. And I asked him, he goes, yes, definitely ask me that. But we ran out of time because he had another interview scheduled and I never got to it. So post-interview, he said he would come back on the show, and I have reached out but not gotten a response. So hopefully one day I will. But this is the MCA Records copy. But what's really interesting about this particular version here, this came out in 1973. I believe this is a 1973 release, but I haven't been able to verify it. The reason I think it is because right here, it is a promo copy. This is not listed on Discogs or anywhere else that I've been able to find, but considering, I mean, you wouldn't come out in 1977 and do a promo copy for a 1973 release. It doesn't make sense. So to me, it should be a 1973 release. Would love to verify that somehow. But it says, let's see, for promotion only, ownership reserved by MCA Records, sale is unlawful. G. I don't know if that's for gangster or what. Here's the back of the cover. There is a crease like right across here, which is very unfortunate. But I mean, it's a promo copy. This was designed to maybe be played on the radio, maybe be used, I don't know where it would have been. But on the inside, we've got some pictures from the cast, which is really nice. Direct shots from the movie, very beautifully done. We have this lovely booklet that has the lyrics and some information here, even right down to the crucifixion. It has the lyrics for the crucifixion, and then of course John 19:41 was an instrumental. Let's see, I think we just have generic sleeves. Yes, just generic white sleeves, but we have the book, so we don't really need a designer sleeve because that's where we would expect to get the information that we're getting in the separate book. The book is in excellent condition, which is nice. The jacket, for the most part, is in really good condition, except for that crease. But it's kind of neat to have one that has that little promo stamp on it, because that's, I mean, how many of those are out there? Who knows? But yes, Jesus Christ Superstar, excellent. I watch this movie at least once a year just because it's such a great movie. I'm not really a religious person, but the story, obviously, I mean, it's compelling. There's no twist end or anything, but it's just an amazing story to tell. It flows nicely. The music is brilliant. The lyrics are brilliant. The acting is phenomenal. I mean, you get Barry Dennen, Yvonne Elliman, Ted Neely, a bunch of people on this album that really just make this whole performance special. I know it was not an easy shoot for them, being out in the desert in the heat and all that. Plus, there was kind of a war going on at the time. So, you got that to deal with. The amazingly well done, partially modernized version of the historic tales of the last days of Jesus. But that's not all. So years later, after I had become a fan of Deep Purple, did not know that there was another previous version that came out in, was it 70? Yes, 1970, a broadcast recording that was preceding this that actually paved the way for this movie to be made. And I didn't know that it even existed, let alone that Jesus was played by Deep Purple's Ian Gillan. So that was a huge treat to find out later on, and that became this soundtrack right here, this broadcast recording. At the time, it was very low budget. They had no idea if there was going to be any value in doing this or not. In fact, Ian said he wanted to do his scenes again, and they just didn't have the budget for it. So he only got to do it that one time. Somewhat similar version, but they did make some modifications for the movie version, just some changes in the soundtrack, a couple of bit different arrangements to the songs. Obviously, Ted Neely's performance was different from Ian Gillan's, but a lot of the rest was very much the same, just done by different people. What really gets me on the movie version is the laughing during the scenes on the cross. There's just something about what they did with that vocal, and I don't know if they were maybe hand cranking the tape or what it was, but when they recorded the laughter, the laugh track from the crowd, it's really just got such a creepy, haunting vibe to it. I'd love to know how they did it, but this one's great. So I love the design on the logo here. Let's see, I've always loved that, just the angels, and this of course is a Decca Records version. Very beautifully done. All four vinyls are in excellent condition, by the way. I mean, I love having the cracks and pops because this is some vintage stuff, but yeah, really nice to have that. So there's a nicer shot of the front, and then we have the back, and of course we have some gems inside. Not so much with this, because this is pretty simple, just, brown paper cover. Nothing much to this at all, but again, considering that this was a broadcast recording and not something that was really kind of an unknown thing to do, but we do get this wonderful booklet, and again, in excellent condition. This also has all the lyrics and the information on the cast, really nicely done. I love this shot right here. Very beautiful drawing. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Long Live Rock and Roll album cover, but there's like a numbered sequence so you can identify who's who, which is actually a pretty intelligent thing to do. And then of course we have, some crosses. Very nicely done booklet. I've always appreciated that. Love the brown color for some reason. I just think that looks really good for an album cover. Great font and everything. But yeah, this was recorded in England in 1970. Ian Gillan had just joined Deep Purple, so he wasn't available to do the stage play. The movie wasn't even a concept yet, but he did get to do the sessions at least. So yeah, really good stuff, guys. 2 versions of Jesus Christ Superstar. I have an extended cut that Ted Neely released. Got that through him. Got it autographed, which was really nice. Really just huge connection to this project because it's been something that's been in my life for so long. I think the ability to not have access to it, to have to only be restricted to only seeing it once a year and at a very ridiculous time at that, you had to fight for it if you wanted to see it. I think there's something that kind of deepens the connection. Now I feel like things just come and go so fast. Okay, it's on Netflix. Great, watched it. Move on to the next thing. And I don't even remember the name of the movie. I remember, it was that movie with this actor or whatever. But boy, they just come and go so fast now. And I feel like nothing really gets the opportunity to really attach itself to a person and be special. And I haven't watched The Whale yet. That is in my queue, and I have a feeling that might be one of those movies that's just so touching it kind of cuts through everything. But yeah, I mean, there's movies I've liked, but honestly, I couldn't tell you the title or maybe what it was about or who all was in it. I mean, there's just, I don't know, things just move too fast now, and there's just no real connection to things anymore, which is a shame. But for me, Jesus Christ Superstar, both versions, love them. I'm more familiar with the movie version because it was the one that I've known for a lot longer. I've experienced a lot more and had a tighter connection to, but they're both fantastic. So check them out. Jesus Christ Superstar, original broadcast recording 1970. theatrical version 1973. Cheers, guys.